about that breaking cycles life. Now for today's encouragement, guys, it's coming from the book of First John, and it is First John chapter 5 verse 14, one of my very favorite verses. And it says, "Now this is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us." Wow, imagine. But please, let's take note of the the condition. He says, according to his will, he hears us. And that is comforting to me, to know that whenever something seems to work out, I know that it's God's will for me, right? And how well, I'm going to use a super simple analogy with this one. So I've told you guys that I really love music and I love instruments, right? So with that being said, of course I would really love being in an orchestra, or just going and sitting and watching one, right? So I'm going to talk about the latter, which was going and sitting and watching one. So while I was in China, I think it was my second year, when this happened, that I was like, oh gosh, I'm like, God, I want to go to an orchestra. I just want to go and sit and listen, please and thank you. That was literally the prayer. I wasn't really literally praying it, but the desire was in my heart to be like, one of these days I really like to go and watch an orchestra, because one day I want to play in an orchestra. And he was like, and then I think it was about a week or two later, one of my coworkers, she was like, "Hey Alice," because that's what they called me. So she's like, "Hey Alice, I have an extra ticket to this orchestra. Would you like to go and watch it with me?" I was like, "Yes, what do you mean?" And then she's like, "Yeah, I want it at this place. It's free. Come, we'll go together." I was like, whoa, yes, going to an orchestra tonight. And it was just amazing that it was such a small thing, and it was God's will for me to go and watch this orchestra. And trust me, guys, it was the best experience ever. Just sitting and watching them and the opera singers, and just looking at all the violins playing. And I'm like, one day. And then I saw the pianist. I'm like, one day. I'm like, one day I'll be in an orchestra, and I'll either be playing the violin or playing the piano. And it just goes to show that God really listens to you. And if it is his will, it could be as small as just wanting to go and watch an orchestra, or wanting to be in an orchestra, even though he hasn't fulfilled that yet. But still waiting for that one to happen. But I need to practice my piano and then learn the violin before he can bless me in that way, right? Yeah, but I still have to go through the training ground for those two instruments before he can bless me in that regard, right? So but just the initial one, which was to just go and experience an orchestra, and it was so amazing. Wow, even when the singers weren't singing, just listening to the music, just listening to the pieces that they were playing, and just looking at how they were just so intricate in terms of wow, it just gave me peace. I was like, wow. You never knew you needed something until you experienced it, and you're like, this is the best thing I've ever experienced in my life. Give me more. Right? So this is how God will definitely give you your desire, or anything you ask for. Just have confidence that he will grant it to you if it's according to his will. It could be as simple as that for me, or it could be you ask him for a car. If it's his will, you will get a car. If it's his will for you to get the house or to start the business, best believe he will make it happen. And I can even use another analogy. Starting the YouTube channel, God, I've recognized something with God now, guys. When it comes to his will for my life, everything surrounding me walking in the will, or walking in that way, which is his will for my life, it just seems like everything just seems to work out. And I just have to be like, okay, because it's even though everything seems like it's working out. Remember, I told you the story of me coming to China, how everything was just going so fast that it was scary, and I was hesitant. And I've now recognized that when it comes to his will for my life, he makes everything easy to acquire. it's usually just me hesitating because I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure? The same thing with starting the YouTube channel. He gave me an editing app that was free, like, and easy to use, like nothing too fancy. And it was cheap. I could get VIP service for a year, guys, with this app. And it is so nice to use. So easy, so reliable to use. Like, come on, it's actually a very good app. And it was affordable. And that's how I knew that this was God's will to start this YouTube channel, because he caused everything around me, as I told you in a previous video, that he just caused everything around me to happen so that it could push me to do his will for my life. And I had asked him for something, and this is the way he's answering it, right? And it's the same way God will do for you. If you have confidence that when you ask for something and you see it work out, just know it's God's will for your life, and he heard you. He heard that prayer. So guys, we have to now get into the understanding that oftentimes if things don't go the way we want, just take a step back from the situation and maybe think it through and say, is it really God's will for my life? Because there's always my will for my life, and then there's God's will for my life. Which one do you think is best? And I'm pretty sure, as I've told you already, this friend knows your future from your past. He knows what's best for you, right? So God's will for your life is usually the best. So if we take a step back from the situation and stop trying to open a door that he purposely closed, then maybe we will be redirected to his will and start enjoying the blessings. Because I've even heard this once from him, like literally I was about to do something that was going to be crazy, and he literally said to me, Shanique, if you do that, that's not where my will is for you. So you can do what you're doing, you can make the choice to do that, but that's not where my purpose and my will for you is. So my blessings won't be in that way. My blessings are in this way, in this path. This is my will for your life, and I've told you what my will for your life is, and it's this. So you can make the choice to go contrary to it, because I've given you free will. But this is my will for you, and this is where my blessings are. So since I've outlined that to you, you make your choice. And I just had to sit and I was like, okay, I'm not going this way, I'll go this way. I like blessings. I like blessings. I don't want any stress. Yes, I know trials will come, but at least I know I'll have joy, peace, and happiness in this way. And I want blessings even though I'll face trials, because over here, if God is not with me, hey, I don't want that. I want you to be with me. So I was like, let me redirect myself back to this way, because I don't want any trouble, right? So guys, staying in God's will is basically just your safe place, honestly. And we should have confidence that we can always ask God for many things, right? Of course, we're humans, we desire things, and we don't know necessarily what's best for us. You can ask, but just be able to accept that, okay, maybe this is not the best thing for you, and he'll tell you a no in this way. He'll tell you a no at this time, or he'll tell you a no regarding this situation, right? And we just need to accept and be okay. So if he says no for this, then maybe there's a better thing. Maybe there's a better thing in the other direction. And there usually is, because the other direction would be his will for your life, right? So continue asking. And if it's his will, just have confidence that he hears you and he will grant according to his will. Okay? So be encouraged, guys, and have a great day.